I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. During the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I, for one, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts, but they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out. And I don't understand. Roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. And I have my doubt that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. I have my doubts, so I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. We're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back up. Yes, I have my doubts. So we're all messed up and out of touch. Let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. Well, the things I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out.
Good evening. Been an interesting couple of days if you've been paying attention to the news. Man, it's indeed insane. Wow. I been keeping an eye on as much of it as I can, as well as trying to enjoy my my Shabbat. Man, I'm telling you, I don't see a whole lot of things getting better. I am starting to really wonder if Trump might pull this off. I must say. I really kind of have to start wondering that. It's looking interesting. I will say that. Other than that, like I spent time flight simming over the weekend. I'm sure some of you may have seen the live video that popped up. Um, hey, it's something I enjoy doing, and I know it's not news, but I'm going to throw it on this channel anyway because it is what it is. I'm not going to open another separate channel just for my flying. I'm not, I don't record or live stream every time I fly, but the weekends are kind of a big deal. Those bush trips with, it's just a bunch of people. We get together and we fly together. And so I enjoy live streaming it. Anyway, aside from that, we're just kind of waiting until the move. So we're waiting for that. I've been going over in my head how I'm going to arrange everything to be able to get everything in there as far as in the living room, because we're going from, in a sense, working between 3 rooms down to working in 1 room. Well, I should say, in a sense, working in 2 rooms. We've never really worked in all 3 at one time, but we have often worked in 2 of our 3 rooms in our current apartment, and mostly because of room. We can't set things up here in a manner to where we can make the space efficient. It's just not an efficient space. I think we're going to have much better results with the other place. But anyway, I've already got a... pardon me. I've already got a plan for a wall, or part of a wall, and I can't wait. I cannot wait. Facebook has been spamming the hell out of a timeline, a biblical timeline. Yeah, I'll show it to you. If I can find it. Wait a minute. I don't think this is updated. Hang on. Let me go over to my Googlio. And get the address here. I guess I got to re-import over here to get the new stuff. Anyway, this is the thing, and it's like huge. What is it, like 37 inches by 45 inches? It's like huge, and it is so cool, and I want that on my wall so bad. And it's a Bible timeline chart, and it is so neat how it's set up. They sold me on it. So I want to, what my plan is I want to put up one of these, and these are like $25. And then I want to get a world map and put it on the same wall, one that's approximately the same size. But in between the two, in between this Bible timeline and the world map, I want to put a bookshelf, just a cheap, inexpensive bookshelf. And then that's where we can put all of our books at. I don't know, it may sound crazy, but I really cannot wait to do this. I even found on Amazon they've got because man, if you try to find a picture frame or a poster frame that size that will fit a 37 by 45, good luck. And when you do find something, yeah, it's insane. And I don't have the tools to make my own. So what I ran across, actually kind of cool information for you to have, just in case you ever run into this, because I dug and dug and dug trying to figure out, now how in the heck am I going to do this without having to pay a fortune for a frame. Well, this is how. These things are cool. Now, I wouldn't use it on anything that absolutely cannot be damaged. They weren't against that. But they get these, they got these, and you get like 2 of them for like $25. And what are they good for? 48 inches. So if you've got a huge poster that you want to hang or something like that, this is a cheap alternative. because I couldn't find anything in a frame in that size under $100. So, yep, which is frustrating because how hard is it to make a frame? Anyway, the hard thing that would be for me, because I don't know what I'm looking for to get, would be the real thin plastic material that they use for the front of like a poster frame. It's like a Lexan. That's essentially, I guess, what it is, like a Lexan or something. But not quite sure where you would get one in a big enough sheet or where you could order it to size. I don't know. Never looked. But anyway, that's what our plans are, and where some of my time has been spent trying to think of how we're gonna, just organize, arrange everything in there, and make it much more efficient than what we're dealing with right now, as well as just laid out nicer. I wouldn't mind. I don't mind having a workstation in the living room, but I would also like to have some living room in the living room. And right now we don't, because we can't. We don't have the room for it. And I think that's going to change. So it's not necessarily that it's so much more space that we got. It's just that we're going to get. It's just better, better arranged. So you can have a ton of space. If it's not, if it's not workable space, it does you no good. So anyway, let me close that. Let me kind of think. There was a whole bunch of stuff, but nothing is standing out really in particular. We do have a ton of headlines. I will say that I'm really starting to look funny at these numbers, because I really would have thought that they'd been going up. And in fact, we had saw, and I said something about it, what looked like was going to be an enormous spike on the Bing COVID tracker, and then it disappeared. And I'm not talking about the 200 and some odd fatal deaths we saw the one night, because, that I kind of figured was a mistake. But it was the 4,000 some odd that disappeared. It wound up down, 2,600, 2,400, something like that. And that number was over 4,000. So, errors, I get it. This often? Who's doing the data entry? Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything that, I'm sure there is, things that stood out. There was all kinds of stuff that went on. Let me just go ahead and I'll run through the normal stuff. I'll get through the headlines, and then we'll talk about the stuff as we go through it. And as I refresh my memory, if I got more to say about anything in particular afterwards, I will. So, I'm just drawing a blank right here, trying to sit there and think of all the headlines I put through in the last 3 days. All right, run through the normal stuff real quick. Amazon affiliate, we're up to 1244, so I thank those that participate in that. For those that don't know, we're an Amazon affiliate. There's a link in the description of the videos, as well as at the watchmannews.com right there. You click that link, it just takes you to Amazon with our special link, and when you purchase items, they don't cost you anything more, but it throws a little bit our way for the sale. So, a little way to help us out that doesn't cost you anything more. So, we also have a Teespring store. Best way to see what we have there is go to the watchmannews.com, scroll down on the homepage. We got 4 different designs currently. It's more than just t-shirts. There's coffee mugs, tote bags, all kinds of other stuff. So if you see a design you like, click on the image. That'll take you to Teespring where all the other products are, and you can make your purchase there. Lastly, to help the show, you can donate using our PayPal link. That's in the description of the videos, as well as at the watchmannews.com, right here in the main menu. When you click that, it will take you to our PayPal donate page, and you don't have to have a PayPal account. Sorry, I got a message. It threw me all off. You don't have to have a PayPal account. You can do so as a guest with a debit or a credit card, but I always let people know It says Transforming Disabilities up top. It also says Purpose the Watchman News donation. That way you know you're in the right place. Okay. Real quick, do COVID numbers. So right now, and I'll do a refresh real quick. I doubt it'd change. Right now, we're showing 1,225 for the fatal cases. And as you know, that number will go up. I'm not sure what time they cut that number off, but it's like I'm pretty sure I had it pretty narrowed down today because I saw it change. Let's see. For yesterday, they're saying new cases was, 204,110. Fatal cases, they're saying yesterday was 2,275. But you can see it never did really jump. The highest point was here, which was 2,662. It never did really jump. And so that's what kind of, I'm like, wait a minute here. We should be seeing a jump from Thanksgiving due to Thanksgiving. And I don't mean this jump here. We should be seeing a much bigger jump than that. We should be seeing a much bigger jump than that. So, yeah. I don't know what to think. And I'm just being real honest with you. As I said I would always be. I don't know what to think. Keep our eyes on it. If we don't see something substantial, then I don't know what to say. But I've been one from the beginning that my stance was, for one, each of us as individuals have to make our own choices. You know, that's number one. And number two, that probably a wise idea to err on the side of caution, especially if you have reason. Like in our case, okay? I really don't think, if I had a nasty case of it, if I had a good viral load that I took, I don't think I would make it. You know? But if you're 20-something years old and you're, you know, strong as it gets and yada, 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 whatever. You know, that's your decision, not mine. However, I think for any of us to be able to make that decision, we have to have proper information. And I have to question the hell out of the information, and I have questioned the hell out of it ever since the beginning. But these numbers just do not make sense. Either way, they don't make sense. Keep your eye on it. No matter what, the answer stays the same. Do not budge on your freedoms. Well, at least the ones that you think you have. Don't budge on them. Let's see. Here locally, today we are up to 1,184 total confirmed. That's total confirmed. That's just our zip code here. And yesterday it was 1169. The 4th it was 1159. Okay, so not huge jumps here either. Let's keep our eye on it. And, you know, I'm trying to be patient because back in the spring, I kept saying, where's the spike? Where's the spike? And I kept calling it too early. And so I'm trying to be careful not to do that this time. That's why I'm still at the stage of, let's keep an eye on them. We'll see. You know, but I'm going to go ahead and say that if we don't see a spike this week, something is not right. Now, I'm not going to say that when I'm saying something is not right, I'm not going to say that, oh, it's fake news, because I know it's not. I know it's not. But we need to look at this with a common sense mindset instead of some heartfelt, whatever's going to make me feel best mindset. So, if we can confirm that there were a lot more human to human interaction during the Thanksgiving holidays, and I'm pretty sure we can, and we don't see a substantial increase in cases, we need to start looking at a little bit more at how this is spreading. Because there has been question of that from the get-go. You had people that swore up and down that they did not have contact with people that had COVID-19, but they lived in the same apartment building. And they had entire apartment buildings that were just devastated. And it wasn't because the people were in close contact with one another. And I know that they were looking into it and stuff like that, but I never heard anything on results of that. But there was a clear discrepancy in the thought that, it was just aerosolized and that's how people were catching it, because there was case after case after case where they could show that it wouldn't have been a matter of an aerosolized transmission. And it wouldn't have been a matter of somebody touching a doorknob and somebody else coming after and touch. No, there was another way. And I don't know if they ever got to the bottom of it. But I think we might want to start looking. I don't know. The thing of it is, I'm not looking at, there's a lot of people that, man, all they can do is talk about talking points with this stuff. And that's not me. I don't even want to discuss the talking points because they're over-talked. They're over-talked and they're stupid. The next thing that people are going to want me to do if I start talking the talking points is they're going to want me to start putting Gatorade in my plants, right? Because electrolytes is good. Man, stop with the talking points. We have to look at this stuff, right? Okay, the deaths, not that scary as far as the numbers, okay? I get that. But there is a hell of a lot more long-term effects that there are a lot of people having. There are individuals, that I think there's several names for them. One of the names I've heard is called long haulers. Okay? There are people that get infected with COVID-19, and it's like they never get rid of the symptoms. It just goes on and on and on for months for some of these poor people. And this stuff is really happening. There's a lot of really oddball stuff that is happening to some individuals after they've been infected with COVID-19. That is why I think we need to take this serious. Not because the death rate. We don't even begin to know yet what this is doing to us. I can tell you with certainty that it's doing a lot more than what we're currently aware of, because of all these other indicators that are proving that. So we can all jump up and down and say, yay, we're not going to die. But if your arms start falling off, come on. So we need to step back a little bit. Don't talk about the talking points. It's not just about how many people die. Not just about how many people recover. It's not just about how many people contract it. There's a lot more to it than that. And we can either look at it like a bunch of idiots and either call it fake news or not give a damn about the people that suffer, or I'm not going to go that route. That's not what Father Yah instructed me to do. You find that on a whole lot of channels here on YouTube. Not here. Not here. Because I will serve the Father. I won't talk out of both sides of my mouth. I'm not going to do it. Father would not want me to put lives at risk. So anyway, as I've said the entire time, just do what you think is best for you. But I think that everybody needs to be informed. And not by Fox News, not by CNN, not by Dr. Fauci, not by people that have political or other agendas. They just need the truth. So damn hard to get. But there again, you get those of us that tell it, and people want to do everything they can to tear us down. Can't stand it. Can't stand it. I'll never be able to understand why it's so detrimental to a fake person that a real person doesn't remain real. I mean, why don't they just try to be a real person? I don't know. I'll never understand it. It's part of this society. But just take care of yourselves. Be mindful. Be mindful. I think we're going to find out in the future that this is going to have some very, very long-ranging and horrible effects. I'm still convinced it was made in a lab, or at least it was something that was edited in a lab. I'm convinced of that. I don't think this is a natural virus. So, but other than that, along those lines, just keep continuing to prep, because we've got, like I've been saying, we've got a lot of stuff going on. And the powers that be keep hinting towards something big. So, I wouldn't ignore it. You've got people in the financial sectors that are really starting to call the, currency issues. Just about every direction you can imagine. Black Friday was a bust. Again. We're in some bad shape. And nobody's being straight with you about it. It's not just about COVID. It's about our financial or economic situation. All you've heard for the last 4 years about how great the unemployment rate is and how great the economy is, and it's bullshit. All of it. Even before COVID. It's bullshit. I'm still waiting for somebody to tell me of one president in history, within reason, that did not say that their economy was the best and that they had the lowest unemployment rates. Now, how in the hell can every single one of them achieve that? They can't. It's a lie. They play with the numbers so that they can say that. It's a lie. So just because your team member is in office, it doesn't make it true. Just because the other team member's in office doesn't make it not true. It's a lie that every president's told that I can recall. Period. End of story. So we need to stop with that. Well, Trump said. I don't give a damn what Trump said. Well, Obama said. I don't give a damn what Obama said. Facts are the facts. We wouldn't be getting downgraded more and more and more and more by the global banking institutions if we were doing so much better. You need sniffing salts? I mean, wake up. Take a look. We've got so many, and before COVID, so many major retailers shuttering stores. Before COVID. It's all lies. The economy's not doing good, and it hasn't been doing good for a really long time. And it's not going to get any better, with or without COVID. But COVID really did it in. But the problem is COVID didn't do in the economy, nearly half as much as what it did the little guy. And when I'm talking about the little guy, I'm talking about all the little guys. I'm talking about the little guy that, no longer flips burgers at the local restaurant because they're closed. I'm talking about the person that owns that restaurant. That little guy too. Right? Those are the ones that are getting the most hurt out of all of this. And this is why I think it's so important that we get to the bottom of it. The truth. The truth, not talking points, not bullshit. That's why it's important. Because we do need to get this economy on track. We do need to get people back in their normal lives. We need to do all of this. But we don't need to do it based on lies. And if we need to wear masks to protect each other, then that's what we damn well need to do. And we need to quit being crybaby pussies, and we need to put on the damn thing and just deal with it. If we don't need to wear masks, then fine, we don't need to wear them. But if it turns out that this is something that was hyped up, and I don't think it was. I think that there is far. We have to learn about this yet. But if we would find out that this was hyped up to do this, then we need to hang some bastards. Don't you agree? Enough for this playing around. Enough with this playing around. We, the people, have been being used as scapegoats by our government for far too long. And what really gets me is that they use our tax dollars to do it. That's what really gets me. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, we just need the truth. That's what we need, so that we can go from there. Let me go ahead and run through the headlines. There is quite a few. All right. Let me grab a vape. Man. All right. Starting with the stuff I put out Friday, so obviously some of this will be a little dated. Pfizer CEO not certain their vaccine stops transmission of COVID-19 as company's jab approved in the UK and evaluated in the US. And you've probably heard this by now. There have been some people raising hell about it. Biden tells CNN his son Hunter's business dealings will be kept away from the presidency and government after networks cover-up exposed. Now wait a minute. To my understanding, Joe Biden was as directly named as it gets in some of those emails. So that wouldn't just make it his son's dealings. That would make him culpable too. So, no, I don't believe we do need to keep that out of the presidency. I think we need to find the true story with all of this, and you should probably do time for your uranium one and all other dealings that, allegedly you have been involved in. Allegedly. Yeah. Global food prices hit 6-year high as COVID-19 pandemic turns into major driver of food inequality. OPEC Plus finally reaches deal on 2021 oil output cuts. Criminal cases against Sputnik journalists in Latvia are affront to foundations of democracy. Let me try this one again. Criminal cases against Sputnik journalists in Latvia are affront to foundations of democratic society, says the Russian Foreign Ministry. I don't know why that was so hard. Marco Rubio, apparently that is too. Marco Rubio triggered after Chinese journalist calls for fellow senator lifetime bitch for slurring his country. Put down your handbags, gentlemen. A U.S. blacklists Chinese chipmaker SMIC and oil producer CNOOC over alleged military ties, and too many letters in their name. Taiwan sees trade deal with U.S. as Washington support in face of intimidation from China. Pakistan calls for debt relief for poor countries struggling with COVID-19 pandemic. A lot of countries have called for that. Massive fireball fills skies over South Africa's Durban following explosion at oil refinery and 7 injured. Still on Friday's news. Paris threatens to torpedo Brexit trade deal if French interests are not met, says the minister. European Council head says nations must weigh sanctions in the face of Turkey's hostile behavior. A piece of Hitler's skull is exhibited in Moscow Museum. I can say it. Order me phonetics after the show here. Hooked on Phonics. That's what we'll do. We'll order me a set of Hooked on Phonics. You think they still got that? We'll scare up a tape player or something. Cassette player. Take some Hooked on Phonics. Probably won't learn me nothing. Postpone Tokyo Olympics to cost Japanese organizers $2.8 billion. U.S. dollar slide expected to continue into next year on risky bets and stimulus speculation. Yeah, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of speculating, and one of the things people are speculating, and I think they might be speculating correctly, is that nobody's going to see another stimulus unless you get the vaccine. And I bet that's what we see happen. I bet nobody sees another dime of help without the vaccine. I'll bet. They are going to get people in a position to where, as many people as possible anyway, in a position to where they have to just do whatever just so they can feed their families. And I'm telling you, not a good situation. Send gunboats to China to shake up reparations for unleashing COVID-19 weapon on the world, an award-winning British journalist says. Man, not going well. U.S. wants Huawei CFO Ming to plead guilty in exchange for freedom before Trump leaves office, says reports. 2 Chinese COVID-19 vaccines prove safe and trigger strong immune responses in early trials. Yeah, Jen said, I'm not even drunk. I can't even use drinking as an excuse. Let's see. MPs call on Bank of England to track down 50, gosh, I hate these. That's the pounds, yeah. 50 billion pounds in missing money. Germany hopes to reach deal with Biden on Russian Nord Stream 2 pipeline project. COVID rules misunderstood, toothless, or insufficient. Experts claim most countries violated international law during the pandemic. Like a bomb, Edinburgh residents wake up terrified after explosions. Met Office confirms it was just thunder snow. AC/DC should do another song, Thunder Snow. Russian journalist fired by U.S. state-controlled media for discussing family of Alexei Navalny's wife. COVID curbs Chinese, man, something is wrong. No, I haven't, and I'm not making an excuse. This is actually an issue, and I don't know how much it's affecting me, but I haven't been able to see worth a damn today. I don't know why, but even when I put my glasses on, writing text is still kind of blurry to where it wasn't yesterday. Let's see. Try this again. COVID curbs Christmas spirits as Italy cancels festive events and bans midnight mass. I hope France gets rid of Macron trouble soon, Turkey's Erdogan says amid growing conflict with the EU. India summons Canadian ambassador after PM Trudeau's remarks on farm protests. Catholic Church bishops reassure lay community that one does not sin by taking COVID-19 vaccine. Well, that would all depend. It would all depend. I think part of it would actually depend on the belief, your personal belief itself. Now, I personally do think it would be. I do. Because I know better. Because I know better. I know enough to know that this is an mRNA. I know enough to know their theory behind how it works. And I know enough to know that Father Yah does not want us experimenting in that manner with his creation. The answer for me is no. Not going to do it. And yes, it would be a sin if I did, because I know better. Netherlands rejects Russia's request to suspend enforcement of record-breaking $50 billion awarded in UCO's case. We distrust Iran. Germany wants nuclear deal under Biden expanded to include Iranian ballistic missiles. China turns on nuclear-powered artificial sun 10 times hotter than the real thing. If it's 10 times hotter than the real thing, then why didn't it burn us up? They're really pros. Fauci backtracks on criticism of hasty UK vaccine approval as regulator defends decision. Santa Claus with antibodies, actors who previously caught COVID-19 providing a very 2020 service for Russian kids. Scientists on the verge of creating artificial vision which could restore partial sight in the blind via brain implants. A wall of cardboard erected outside French finance ministry as climate activists protest over Amazon expansion. And again, this is Friday's news. Fears of an Iranian reprisal for the killing of nuclear chief prompt Israel to warn its own scientists and reactor workers. Ugly reality. Iran's FM spokesman accuses Saudi Arabia of being chief source of bigotry, hatred, and terrorism in the region. A French-Lebanese businessman who once claimed to transport Gaddafi funds to Sarkozy campaign by suitcase is arrested in Beirut. 98.5% success rate, just 273 over 20,000 volunteers for Russia's Sputnik V vaccine trials have subsequently caught COVID-19. A U.S. State Department sanctions Chinese government officials over coercive influence activities. The U.S. House of Representatives passes bill to decriminalize cannabis at the federal level. Medical data of Israeli officials leaked online after insurance firm refuses to pay $1 million ransom to cyber hackers, says the reports. A Liverpool mayor among group arrested over alleged bribery and witness intimidation in building corruption probe, says reports. Hang on, let me have a sip here. Have me a vapor too. Oh, man. All right. Game on. Still on Friday. Vaccines do not equal zero COVID, says WHO, concerned about people's belief that the pandemic will soon be over. Yeah, because that's what you get a lot of people thinking right now. That, oh, this vaccine comes out, and we're all good. But everybody's got to take it. Every single person's got to take it or else it won't work. Really? Mind showing me of one successful COVID vaccine that they've ever made? I'll wait. Well, no, I won't because we got stuff to do. But anyway, 13-year-old Palestinian shot and killed by Israeli forces during West Bank protest against settlements, says the health ministry. FBI declares hackers targeting think tanks shaping U.S. policy, same NGOs that fearmonger about foreign hacking. Not surprising. Priorities, anyone? U.S. House passes marijuana decriminalization while clock runs out on COVID-19 aid. $1 for moon dust. NASA selects 4 companies to collect lunar soil samples or whatever you want to call them, ahead of the Artemis mission. Well, it is, wait a minute. Oh, that's NASA, not China. Because China's up there now, and they might be collecting samples, or sampers. How would a Chinese person say samples? Samples. I don't know. But not going to be samples. I know that. Let's see. U.S. repositioning 700 plus troops from Somalia on Trump's orders, the Pentagon confirms. It's okay now. We have a new president. Pelosi willing to make smaller COVID-19 relief deal. Is accused of having played politics. No. My pillow guy, and by the way, this doesn't. We don't need anything more. This is the confirmation we've all been waiting for. The hell with all the news agencies and all that. Nope. Now it's official. My pillow guy says Trump will 100% be president for the next 4 years after speaking with lawyers. So, hey, the only thing that could ever possibly make me feel better right now than if Billy Mays was alive and he could say it too. But wait, there's 4 more years, right? If he was alive to do this, to say this, then I would be 100% at ease, you know. But I do feel better. I might even possibly, you might say, sleep better at night now that my pillow guy has at least come out and said that Trump's going to win. It's that damn ridiculous, folks. And so am I. I'm not above it. Shocking leaked photo and classified report shed light on Pentagon's UFO tracking activities, says a report. A bus falls from a bridge in Brazil to train tracks below, killing at least 17. 2021 going to be catastrophic. UN officials warn as organizations face worst year in history since inception after World War II. Now, when you've got the UN saying stuff like this, pay attention, right? Because even if bad things that happen aren't just natural bad events that happen, right? You can damn well bet that the UN's going to be a part of it. So kind of keep that information in mind. There are so many reports from so many places talking about how this is not, this is not over, and that, 2021 is going to get exponentially worse than what we've seen in 2020. And I would say the indicators are there, without a doubt. Again, there are a lot of people right now that disagree about who the president is going to be. And I get it. I get it. I get why both sides feel that way, because it is up in the air at this point in time. What happens when it's official? Either way, keep on your toes and keep ready. Biden says he won't force Americans to vaccinate, but will do everything in his power to encourage them to do the right thing. I'm telling you, you ain't gonna get a stimulus check unless you roll up your sleeve. Don't kill me, man. New York Attorney General releases disturbing police body cam video of 2 black men who died in custody. We're to yesterday's news, Saturday's news. I don't know when that started. Okay, just with this last one here. Coronavirus will drive global debt to $200 trillion by the end of 2020, says S&P projects. See, and that's global debt. We're not doing good. The world's not doing good. Now, I still can't get to the bottom of this. I still can't figure out who the world owes money to, because last I knew, Pluto didn't have a bank, and I'm just confused here. How can the world be in debt? How's that even happen? And I'm all for resetting this stuff, but not in the way that they're for resetting it. I don't mean resetting all of our lives like they want to do. I'm talking about resetting all this massive global debt. And I don't, we really kind of should probably follow the word of Father Yah. We're supposed to have debt jubilees. And we don't. We're actually supposed to have debt jubilees. If we were following the Father's word, we wouldn't be in this shape. Because nobody would be able to gain that type of financial control. Because it would all start over. Something to think about. No more time to sell TikTok's U.S. assets as deadline for Chinese owner passes, says a report. Well, I butchered that headline. Soft power propaganda tools. U.S. State Department ends 5 cultural exchange programs with China. Judge orders full restoration of DACA immigration program in latest upset to key Trump policy. Saudi oil exports to U.S. slump for 35-year low. Smaller Russian oil corporations oust energy giants from top of WWF environmental rating. Owner of LA bar closed by COVID-19 restrictions decries slap in the face as film company allowed to set up dining nearby. Yeah, I mean, it really truly is ridiculous how some of this is being handled. And you've got some that are just using it as an opportunity to seize power. That's ridiculous. But the people needs the truth. Prince Andrew's accuser lied about her age and was prostitute paid off by Epstein, court papers show, says a report. Well, my question is, the age is indeed one thing, but it's almost like they want you to forget about the act altogether because she lied about her age. I don't get it. British index provider to drop 8 Chinese corporations after U.S. blacklisting. Frozen to death on the road of bones, Russian teen motorist dies in his car after a week spent stranded at minus 50 degrees. Tragic, tragic story. Large-scale COVID-19 vaccination campaign kicks off in Moscow. Ex-CIA head Brennan wrong to call Iranian scientist killing criminal. U.S. also carried out such actions, an ex-Mossad chief tells RT. Russia to scrap tax agreement with the Netherlands as proposed approach fails to combat capital outflows. Argentina passes one-time personal wealth levy dubbed millionaire's tax to cover COVID-19 damage. Yeah, I saw that headline last night. I was like, is it going to resolve Yemeni conflict? Omani FM slams U.S. suggestion of adding Houthis to the terror list. Russian authorities investigate after forged negative COVID-19 test certificates found on sale for just $33 each. That's a bargain. I wonder if they had a Black Friday sale. Get on your knees before Putin. Ex-Ukrainian leader Poroshenko says Zelensky will humiliate country to end Donbass conflict. Tear gas and burning cars. 22 arrested following clashes between protesters and police in Paris. 2 police officers injured, including one by Molotov cocktail during protest in Nantes. Brexit trade talks to reconvene in Brussels in last gasp effort to secure deal. Violent Paris protests result in dozens of arrests and 8 injured police officers, says the French Interior Minister. NATO cybersecurity contractor gets 10 gigabytes of data stolen from it and arrest made over years-long data theft scheme. A massive blaze and explosions at a gas plant near a mall in El Salvador. Trump supporters hit Antifa protesters with American flags during clashes in Washington state capitol. I'm not sure who really started it, but there's some craziness going on here, and I watched the videos on this article. I watched every one of them. And, man, I'm telling you, I'm seeing agent provocateurs. I am, and not necessarily on, I'm seeing it on both sides. I am seeing agent provocateurs on both sides. Both sides. I assure you. I assure you. Let's see. We will never, ever surrender, Trump says in Georgia at first rally since Election Day as crowd chants stop the steal. Okay, now we're to today's news. Wow. Okay, let me have another sip of vape. Not nearly as many headlines today. I mean, today was somewhat quiet, to be honest, in the news front. I mean, Sundays usually are quite a bit quieter, but All right. COVID pandemic could push more than 1 billion people worldwide into extreme poverty, the UN warns. Havana syndrome, directed radio frequency energy, made U.S. diplomats feel sick in Cuba and China, scientists find. And they actually gave it a name now. Seoul tightens COVID-19 restrictions to second highest level amid spike in infections. Festive fright in Russia. Powerful rockets fly high into Rostov-on-Don sky amid... wow, is that the whole name of the town? Rostov-on-Don? Amid massive blaze at pyrotechnics store. A Chinese retail giant, JD.com, becomes first big online shop to accept digital yuan in $3 million lottery trial. Pfizer seeks emergency use authorization for COVID-19 vaccine in India. Pardon me. The U.S. makes last-ditch effort to freeze Nord Stream 2 as massive gas project nears completion. German hospitals packed to the brim with 40% more COVID-19 patients in ICUs than during its first wave, says the union chief. So see, Germany's starting to see the spike, but Germany doesn't celebrate Thanksgiving. So there is that. Leave it to the experts. Russian Orthodox Church leader instructs followers not to carry out DIY exorcisms on children. So I want you to remember that. Do not carry out your own do-it-yourself exorcism on your child. Don't do it. Because, man, you can never predict how many times the head is going to spin. You have no idea how big of a mess the projectile vomiting is going to make. And, you know, there's this whole demon thing possessing you. And then what are you going to do? Right? So, yeah, don't exorcise your own children. Right? You could pay a Catholic church to do it correctly. Moving on. Sorry, Sergey, you're Shinzo now. U.S. tells 20,000 Russian islanders from disputed Kurils that considers them to be Japanese. I'm such a tard. Let's see. Who caused Havana syndrome? ? With latest research naming no culprit. MSM rushes to declare Russia microwave exposure mastermind. Russia. Time for record global oil demand may have already passed, Russia says. I would agree with that, by the way. I think I think we might have had a little ways to go to peak, but then when COVID happened, I think that did that in, and I think there's going to be a fundamental change in how a lot of people live life from here on out. And I do think that there will be less travel. I do think that people will do less things. I don't think that they're going to necessarily be in the mood to. But I don't think a lot of people are going to have the money to either. So there is that as well. Putin has cancer pundit beloved by Western media arrested for flouting COVID-19 restrictions at St. Petersburg rally. 2/3 of Britons say UK bungled second wave of COVID-19. Over half call government's response to the crisis a national humiliation, says a poll. Iranian scientist assassinated with the help of satellite-controlled hardware, says the IRGC. China to build over 1 million new 5G stations next year. Bars so deep in the swamp he can't see his fellow reptiles, says Fox's Piro. Fox's Piro turns on AG for denying voter fraud. Let's see. Will you reinstate bill that breaks international law? UK Environment Secretary asked amid chaotic Brexit talks. Yes, he says. Autonomous cars may hit the road before the end of the decade, says the world's largest car maker. Listen to the sound of protest. Pianist turns tense standoff between eco-activists and police in Germany into a concert. A Jewish group slams Georgia Democrat Senate candidates for campaigning with lawmaker who allegedly compared Jews to termites. A blow for new Moldovan President Sandu as diplomatic vehicle caught trying to smuggle anabolic steroids across the Ukrainian border. MasterCard investigating Pornhub over report site hosts child abuse videos and threatens immediate actions if accusations are true. Morally repugnant or outright unlawful, UK Home Office's tough asylum policies face increased opposition. Venezuela vote a fraud and sham. Maduro government illegitimate. Blast Pompeo as Trump continues to contest the U.S. election. It's ridiculous. Trump announces that lawyer and greatest mayor in New York City, Rudy Giuliani, has tested positive for COVID-19. And I saw another headline to where it said they were admitting him into the hospital. So, almost 800 incidents of threats and terrorism justification reported in France over a month during tributes to beheaded teacher. Authorities reportedly investigate a bomb threat on an Aeroflot plane from Moscow at JFK Airport. I'm not showing any new headlines. Hang on a second here. Oh, cool. Are you allowing things through? Like you're approving posts? Okay, but you approve the posts too, right? Okay, just making sure. You're doing fine. You're just making sure that they're okay, right? Okay. Yeah, don't let nobody post stupid stuff. Okay. Let's see. That is the headlines. Don't see anything else. Like I've been saying, you can pretty well count on a mandatory vaccine coming down the pipe. You can bet on it. It's not going to start out that way. And even necessarily when I say mandatory, I don't necessarily mean they're going to hold a gun to your head. But when they restrict your access to food and housing and medicine, your other medicines, because you won't take a vaccine, I'm pretty sure that's pretty forceful. So, and I hope people are getting ready for that. I hope they're getting it in their mental space now that they're gonna have to fight this time. They're not going to be able to make excuses. They're not going to be able to just pass it off. They're not going to be able to do whatever. They're going to have to make a choice. Either they accept it and take the vaccine, or they plant their flag and stand. We'll see. I think they're going to squeak it out many, many other ways by using travel restrictions and shopping restrictions and working restrictions and, stuff like that. I think they're going to try to stamp out as many as they can that way. But I don't, to be honest, think that they're going to get as many as they do. Because I see a considerable amount of people even quitting their jobs out of a refusal to take this vaccine. I see that coming. And then when that happens, think of all those other, extra people now that are going to be in bad shape financially themselves in their personal households because they did what they felt was morally correct. And I would agree. I would make the same decision, but that's for each and every person to make separately. But I see it coming. I really do see it coming. Man. I hope people are getting ready. You know, I I'm just trying to get us moved. I want to try to, as I've been telling all of you, move forward in prepping, but also move forward in life. Don't quit living life. Don't do 100% prepping and 0% life, and don't do 100% life and 0% prepping. Try to balance it 50-50 at somewhere close. I'm really looking forward to getting into this place. I'm really looking forward to doing up that wall that I was talking about. The freaking wall is going to be a fortune in itself. Talking, well, I mean, it's going to be, I don't know what a a bookshelf is going to cost. I'm going to guess probably around 50 or 60, but I'll probably have about $150 invested into that one wall. Just because I really do think it'll look cool. But I think it's going to be a very productive space for us. And I think I'll be able to start doing a lot more once we get in there and once we can get set up. Because I think that once I can start utilizing the wall space, unlike what I can't do here, when I can actually start utilizing that wall space, it's really going to open up our capability, and we'll be able to have our news/watch TV area, which is where we're usually always at, in one spot up against a wall. And then, I could have the work area with the vinyl cutter, the work table and all that on another wall. And then the wall that I want to put this Bible timeline I'm talking about, and the bookcase and the world map, that'd be on a part, at least, if not on its own little wall, on a part of the wall. And then I've got some other things I want to put in the living room that would go up against the walls and stuff. The futon wouldn't. I know it sounds strange, but because of the way we do things, the futon would be behind our computer chairs like it is now. Even though that kind of makes it stick out on the floor, it is what it is. I mean, we just have to have a strange arrangement. But I can't wait, because I want to move forward. And right now, that's the big step that we're waiting on to be able to move forward. But anyway, I am going to get out of here for the night. I am tired. It's our Monday. Just keep on keeping on, folks. That's all you can do. Just keep on keeping on the best you can, whether that's an inch, whether that's a mile, however you can. If it's a millimeter a day, just keep moving forward. So anyway, with that, I hope everybody has a great night. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow. I hope to see you then. As always, God bless you. We love you, and be one with your spirit.